Hey guys, welcome to The Helpful Hustle. It's Bex here, and today I am joined by the brilliant Katy Low from Vero Law. She runs a small business legal consultancy which helps startups and small businesses with all of their kind of legal needs and queries and questions. So if you are ever needing any help with that, then I will be making sure that she is tagged throughout this video so you can follow her and get in touch. Today we are talking about setting up your new business, what that means, what that entails, from setting up your website and you're finding your name for your business through to setting up a bank account and also some business insurance as well. So if that is of use to you, stay tuned. We've got lots coming up. So Katy, welcome. Thanks very much for joining us. So let's start right from the beginning, because I didn't think that I had to think from a legal perspective about choosing a name for my business. How important is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's super important. And of course, it's one of the most important business decisions you'll make, because it's all about, what do I call myself? What brand am I going to have? What am I putting out there in the public domain? So it's such an important decision. The key thing about it is that you're not calling your business something that already exists out there, basically. And there's lots of variations of names and things like that out there, and yeah, I'll come on to that. But it's that copycat thing. You can't really set up a business with exactly the same name, doing exactly the same thing with exactly the same branding. So the most important thing to do from a very first step is do a bit of research, and it's very simple stuff. It is firing up that search engine and just plugging that into Google or whatever, and having a really good search around and just seeing, is there any other business out there called the same thing? And you might get no results. If there are no results, and I'm talking sort of looking through at least 4 or 5, 6 pages, then that's a very good sign. No one's using that name already. You might get a few results, and you might get some names of businesses that are in different sectors. I'm not saying that you that's a complete no-no, but it's just something to be aware of, that there is someone already using that name. Okay, it's in a different sector, a different industry, but it's just something to be mindful of.
I actually, my first search for my name for The Helpful Hustle was actually on Companies House. So that's another place that you can search, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that was the second thing I was going to mention, that if you are setting up a limited company, then definitely worth having a look to see if your name's taken already on Companies House. So it's a very easy platform to use. You can just plug in the name again, like a search engine, and just see what pops up. And if there's already a business that exists with exactly the same name that you won't be able to register that name as well.
Can you register a variation of that name though?
Yeah, that can be a possibility. There are different ways to do it, and you can add in extra things, potentially like, London or Edinburgh or Scotland or something like that. So there are things that you can add in that maybe helps with the location of the business. That is a variation on the name, and you can nab that name basically on Companies House. So that's definitely something else worth checking. I guess the other things to think about are, you're probably going to need a website, so you're going to want a domain name for that website. So again, there are lots of businesses out there that sell domain names and offer you domain names. So doing a quick search with one of them can show you if you can actually get that domain name for your business. And again, there are variations. You might be able to get .co.uk but not .com, or you might be able to get your name hyphenated, or a different variation on the name to get the domain name, and those are all possibilities.
Yeah.
And if the domain name is taken but someone has it, you can still buy that domain name. You might just need to shell out a little bit of cash to do that, but sometimes it's worth it.
Just taking it right back to basics, do you need to worry about any legal implications of picking a similar name on social media, for instance? There's lots of different handles that you can have for your accounts. And if someone's already got that and they're linked, but you're choosing a similar name from a website perspective or a brand name, where does that line get drawn when it comes to social media?
Yeah, I mean, it's a complicated area as well. And again, it just goes back to the kind of similarity issue. I would definitely include in your searching, you know, maybe as a third point or a fourth point, depending on where you've got to down that list. But if you look on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, you know, Pinterest, any of the platforms, and just have a look if anyone is actually operating under that name. Now, it might not be a business, it might just be the name of someone's page, which probably limits your risk a little bit further. The problem is that Instagram, for example, is so big now that if you go and try and register any name, it's probably already taken. You know, someone adds in sort of, you know, Katy.Low 1979 at the end or whatever, because you know the first name's not available. So it's definitely worth having a look at. I mean, your risk is obviously the lowest if you don't find anything with the same name, and then there's degrees of risk above that. If you're finding loads and loads of hits of the same name, and there are, you know, established businesses which have unlimited bank accounts, then probably step away from that name and choose something else.
Yeah, really good advice, because I think people get stuck on a name, a brand name, and they love it, but they don't do the research behind it, and then can end up in a lot of trouble. There's like trademarking issues, you know, all that kind of stuff. So really good to kind of put that groundwork in and do that research from the get-go. Now, supposing you've got to the point where actually that's all fine, you've done that all, that's brilliant. Now you've got things to do, like set up your business bank account, maybe thinking about insurance as well. What do we need to think about from a legal perspective when it comes to those?
Yeah, I mean, you want to get paid as a business, right? So the easiest thing to do is to have a bank account. And my advice with that sort of thing is that shop around, definitely shop around, and see what's out there and what's on offer. I do tend to advise my clients to go for some of the challenger banks, banks like Starling. For example, they're really great for small businesses and startups. They're very easy to set up, but you will go through the same diligence process as you would if you're applying for your own bank account. So you do have to have all, you know, the ID docs, everything that's from an anti-money laundering point of view. So you will need ID, you will need proof of address and things like that. So you have to have those things in place before you apply. And what the bank account is, of course, therefore is helping you to get paid. So you will then be able to put your business bank account details on your invoices. If you're setting up accounting software like Xero or QuickBooks or anything like that, then you can automate the process and you can link your accounting software to your bank account. So the process is very, very quick and easy. And yeah, having that bank account in place, of course, then offers you the opportunity to perhaps borrow money if you need to get a business loan. You know, some of the loans that are available at the moment, such as the bounce back loan, if you've already got a business bank account in place, it's a very simple process to apply for that loan, because you're already a customer. Also, if you do need to borrow credit, you need an overdraft, things like that, and that can be very cheap ways of getting a little bit of funding from the beginning with your business. A couple of my clients just used their business overdraft, bit of cash, spent some money on branding and their website, used it, got paid, got rid of the overdraft. So yeah, it's definitely a useful thing to have.
Yeah, and also really useful to remember to keep your business expenses and expenditure separate to your personal one, because when it comes to, you know, signing everything up to your accountant and making sure that you're doing your taxes correctly, you need to have all of that stuff in check as well. So, well, Katy, that's been really useful, a really good sort of starter for 10 for any new business out there. So thank you very much for all of that knowledge. If people want to speak to you about their small businesses, where can they find you?
Yeah, I mean, I am on my website, so it's verolaw.co.uk. I'm also on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram. So all of those channels, you can get in touch with me there. And, you know, I'm offering free consultations at the moment, so half-hour consultations. So if you want to engage with me with one of those platforms, then I'd be delighted to hear from you.
Fantastic. Well, I definitely recommend that all you new small businesses get in touch, get some good legal advice, and get some support along the way on your exciting journeys ahead. So thanks for tuning in. We'll have more legal advice with Katy coming up in the next few videos as well. So make sure you stay tuned to Helpful Hustle, and we'll see you very soon.